Hello, everyone. I thank you all so much for being with us. And again, thank you so much for doing this webinar, this Zoom tonight. You have about 12 people on the line. So at any time, if you all have questions, you guys can go ahead and ask or put them in the chat, and then I will ask them from Anne. So Anne, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks, Aggie. So can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good, because earlier today I had a problem with my microphone, so I just wanted to make sure. So I want to go over basically, some of the tasks that you'll be doing over the next couple of weeks, getting ready into smart cookies. A reminder that all of these things that I'm going to cover, we have videos on each of these subjects in the Smart Cookie training that you can access just going to Safety and Training, Smart Cookies Training, and you can get access to all of the information that I'm going to share with you today. So the first thing that you're going to probably be doing as you get ready to, start the cookie sale is you've put your initial orders in, and obviously you ordered by troop and aggregate order. So you're going to be distributing cookies to girls. And so the first thing that you're probably going to want to do is to make sure that you're transferring those cookies to girls for their financial responsibility. So an easy way, they're very easy to do. You go to your orders, you go to a transfer order. The default that's always going to come up is a troop to girl, but you also have the ability to do a girl to girl transfer, a girl to troop. So if a girl, needs to, exchange cookies or bring some back, and then you also have the ability to do troop to troop transfers. They all work basically the same way, but this to show you, this is where you would access them to. So from orders, go to transfer order. And again, the troop to girl will always be the default. You always will have your troop as the troop that it's coming from. Again, that's already pre-selected for you as the troop user. And so what you then do is you go and you pick one of the girls in your troop. So I'm going to transfer to Ann White, and I click apply. And now I've got a grid, and it's done by variety in packages. So we put in how many packages you're giving to each girl. Now notice there are two columns. One are packages and one are booth packages. You can use this transfer function to transfer booth packages to girls. However, I am going to show you how to use the smart booth divider, which we recommend to use for two reasons. One, it's much faster. It's going to save you a lot of time. And number two, it's going to start to build data in your council so that we'll know that on a particular given weekend, at the Harris Teeter in Hilton Head, on the first weekend, they were selling an average of 50 packages for every time slot. So it really starts to build some data. So I'd encourage you to do that. But if I'm ready to start to give cookies to a girl, I just tab through and put how many cookies I have given each girl. And you'll notice as I do that the numbers start to build as far as the financial responsibility that the girl now has for the cookies. So you can see we now have that this girl has been given 108 packages of cookies. If you want to type an order note, you can say initial distribution, and you can save it. And this transfer has automatically been saved. You can either print a receipt. So if you wanted to print a receipt and give it to the parent and have them sign it at the time, you can do that. Or you can just, keep it in your records. We always recommend that you do receipt every time you give girls cookies and or receive money. If you're ready to do another transfer, you just click on make another transfer. You go back, you pick another girl, and you go through the same process. So we're going to give this girl, she just really likes Thin Mints, so we're going to give them 18 Thin Mints, and we're going to save that transfer. So all of those transfers are done in a really quick and easy way. If you're doing troop to troop transfer, you would want to recommend only one of the troops needs to do the transfer. So either the receiving troop puts it into Smart Cookies, or the troop giving it up puts it into Smart Cookies. But if you're doing a transfer that's a troop to troop, you would just select that kind of transfer, a troop to troop. In this case, you can either, your your troop is automatically either the giver or the receiver. In other words, you can't accidentally make a mistake and, you know, take it from one troop and give it to another troop that's not yours. You have to be, you can either choose your troop to be the receiver or use your troop to be the giver. However, you guys have decided between the two troops who's going to enter it in. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to be the troop that's going to give it up. And so then, I'm sorry, I'm going to give the troop I'm going to give it to. That's my troop. Let me find a troop that I want to give it to. I'm going to give it to 91522. And now it's automatically coming from 915. I'm going to be the receiver troop. Sorry. I'm going to be the receiver troop, and I'm taking it from 99152. So I would just go in and again in packages, put in the number of cookies that are transferred. And the same with the girl transfer. Once you've completed it, you can click save. You can then print a receipt, but the other troop will automatically again get an email that a transfer was made out of their troop into your troop. So just remember, one or the other can do it. I think it's usually easiest to have the receiving troop make the transfer in because they know that they physically got the product. And then of course, transfers can always be, you know, corrected if you made a mistake and you chose the wrong troop. Again, you can print receipts, but anytime a transfer is made from troop to troop, the other troop will receive an email letting them know that a transfer has been made. So any questions about transfers at this point? Okay, I'll show you where you can see a consolidated list of transfers. You can go here to transfers and you can say, I want to look at my troop to girl transfers and click apply. And then you'll see all the ones that I did. And you'll notice that it comes up on the troop side as a negative because I transferred from my troop to the girl's financial responsibility. So it comes up as a negative. So that's how the troop to girl transfers work. Okay, if I wanted to look at all transfers, I wanted to also see any troop to troop transfers because I did do one of those as well. And I apply that search parameter. Now you're seeing, here's that troop to troop transfer where I received in, from troop 99152, I received in 40 packages. So again, all of this can be on the manage order screen as well. So the next thing that you're probably going to be doing as the sale moves forward is to get additional cookies from a cupboard. And we call these planned orders. I believe in the past, they may have been called promised orders or pending orders, but we call them planned orders. You plan to go to the cupboard to pick up orders. Now, a couple of things about your cupboards. If you're going to one of the warehouse cupboards, either at the Forbes warehouse or at Smith Dray, they will not be able to make any changes to your order this year. So if you need to get 10 Thin Mints, you need to make sure that your order is in the system for 10 Thin Mints. They can't go in, they don't have access. Our system doesn't work exactly the same way, so they don't have access to go in and change those orders. So you can put in multiple orders. So if you only on your first order put in 5 and you really want 10, put another planned order in and they can give you both and they'll have 2 planned orders, so against your system. So just remember that. The other cupboards at the council office that are run by the council and volunteers, they do have the ability to change your order within reason. I mean, because remember that if they're getting inventory in for troops that have ordered it, they may not have a lot of extra to give out, but if they have some that they can give out of extra inventory, they will be able to change your orders. So when you're placing a planned order, the first thing that you do is you pick which cupboard you want to go to. So showing you the warehouse cupboard first. I don't have an address in here, but if I had an address, it would actually map it for you so you know exactly where you go. And then you click continue. And then you pick the available date that you want to pick up your order. And then you put in your time frame. So you would like to pick up between 12 and 1 in the afternoon. And once you hit save, then the grid appears and all orders are in cases. And we'll get a big order here. And we're able to pick up all those cookies. You'll notice that the financial responsibility updates, and we can save that planned order at this point. You can print a receipt. So when you go to the warehouse cupboard, you can take this with you, showing the order that you had placed. And you can even have them, if you would like to have them sign as a receipt for you, you can do that. So a planned order receipt is available to you at the time you place the planned order. If you decided that's not the order that I wanted, you can always go in and delete the order. So you have the ability to, change that order up until the deadline has passed or when you're first entering it. Again, to make a planned order, choose the planned order, pick the cupboard, continue, pick the date, continue, and then pick the time and continue. Now, some of the volunteer and council run cupboards may be contacting you with actual appointments. So if you picked that you were going to go on a Thursday, but they're not getting a delivery until later in the afternoon, they may call you to reconfirm the time and date that you can actually pick up. So just be aware of that these are planned orders. You're giving them your preferred day and time to pick up. But if they're not going to have product until a little bit later, because we're selling a lot of cookies and we're bringing the cookies in, the cupboard managers will be in touch with you at any time to update you on your planned orders. I'll just save that one so we've got one. So any questions about that? Once you have picked up your planned order, what will happen is that the council or the cupboard manager will be approving those orders. The council is going to be picking up the tickets from the 2 warehouse cupboards on a daily basis when they're open, and then they'll have to go in and approve that. So you should start to see the order being approved within about 48 hours. And again, you will get an email saying that a transfer has been made from the cupboard to your troop. So you again have an email confirmation of what happened. And please always remember that if you do find something that comes to your troop and you did not go and pick up cookies, please make sure you contact the council pretty quickly to let them know if there's any errors. Because sometimes people make an entry error, and it's just if we can find it at the time it's made rather than at the very end of the sale, it's really helpful to know that. But once it's been approved, then again, you will get a notification that that has been approved. Any questions about planned orders or approvals, or how you can get extra cookies from the cupboard?
And I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm assuming.
Okay. And we can open it up at the end, and if there's questions too, people can ask us. That sounds great. Okay, another thing that you're going to be doing as the sale progresses is you're going to be posting payments from girls. So here is how you do that. Super easy. You go to financial transactions. There are 2 tabs, troop transactions, and these are going to be populated with any of the Smart Cookies direct payments, any payments that have been made by credit card, any of the girl payments that have been collected by credit card or booth payments are all going to show up on troop transactions. You won't be able to add any troop transactions in here. The only type of transaction that you're going to be able to manage, you can view, but to manage would be girl transactions. So it's very easy to do. You click down here and you add a girl transaction. You choose the girl from your troop. You select that it's a payment. She's making a payment to the troop. How is she giving that to you? Cash, check, or credit card. We have some troops, I don't know if any of your troops do, but there are troops that have their own Square that they use, and they accept credit card payments from their parents. And you can do that. You can choose that option, but you do not need to post any of the payments that girls have collected through the Smart Cookies system when they're taking orders and using our app. Those are automatically posted. So it would just be ones that that you're physically processing. So probably you're going to use cash or check most often. You put the transaction date, and you obviously can't do dates that are in the future because you can't take a payment for a future date, but you can go in the past. So if you didn't get around to posting your payments, I actually got it on January 8th. Then you put the amount in, and maybe you say that this was a personal check, could just say received at troop meeting. Or if you have any other notes that you want to put in about this transaction, and you could just click save. And now it's showing up on your list of of your financial payments. Then you can look at girl balance summary reports. And this is where, again, you can give these to your troop, to your parents as they make payments so that they can see a running total of what they owe. So here, for instance, is the girl balance summary for Ann White. The troop is given to her a total of 127 packages of cookies, and she hasn't made any payments yet. But we have these other girls, they made a payment, so they've actually got a credit because they hadn't had any cookies assigned to them yet. So, but typically you would see, here's the transfers in. If there were any transfers out, for instance, the girl gave back some cookies, they would show, and the payments are always going to show right on the screen. Let me just show you a payment again and pick my Ann White, make sure I get the right girl. Yeah. So you can see how it looks. Let me do a financial transaction, and let me add one, and let me pick Ann White. And it's a payment, and she gave me cash, and she paid 150. Oops, I put that thing in 150. I'm going to save that. And now if I go back to that troop balance summary or the girl balance summary report, I'm going to see that Ann has a payment posted. So again, here we've got that she owed 150, or I mean, she owes a total of 526. She's paid 150, so she has a $376 balance remaining on her account. So this is a great way, in addition to getting the receipts, you can also give this to a parent to show how much money they're responsible for. And if I were to look at Ann's account here in Smart Cookies by mimicking her, you're going to see the same type of transactions. So the troop has given her 127 packages of cookies with a financial value of $526. And there has been a payment made. It hasn't refreshed her dashboard yet, but it will normally take a couple of minutes to refresh her dashboard, but it would show the payment and then the balance owed. The troop reports update immediately. Dashboards do take a few minutes to update. So let me go back to the troop. Now we talked a little bit about transferring to girls the cookies that are girls' financial responsibilities. So let's talk a little bit about how we can transfer cookies that girls have sold at booths. So first of all, you can take a booth credit card payment. I can't show you that in a training site because training sites aren't set up with booth credit card. But when you're at a booth, either a girl or a troop volunteer with a Smart Cookies account can take a booth credit card payment. The payment has to be, you can see it's not available in this. The booth has to be in Smart Cookies in order to use the Smart Cookies payment application. So what will happen is you get a booth, you choose, you say, take a credit card payment, you choose the booth you're at, and then you process the credit card payment just as you would any other credit card payment. Once you've finished with a booth, again, I want to show you how easy it is to use the Smart Booth Divider. So you go in, I'm going to go that and go ahead and use my Smart Booth Divider. And these are the booth that I had, and I'm going to put in how many cookies I sold at the booth that day. So I actually collected a couple of donations for cookie share. So I'm going to put in that I had 2, and I sold 10 Adventurefuls and 8 Toast Jays, 15 lemons, 5 shortbread, 25 Thin Mint, 14 peanut butter patty, 18 caramel delight, and 6 peanut butter sandwich, and 5 gluten-free. So I want to save and distribute these sales. Now all the girls in my troop are displayed on the grid. If you want to just give it to some girls, you can just select those girls, or if you want to do all, you just collect all. But I'm going to show you 2 ways. We'll give Ann and Macy the cookies. We're going to click continue. And now you'll see that the cookies have been evenly distributed among the girls with the leftovers, because I had 15 lemon that I sold. So what you do is you just have to go in and manually fix this until you get all the cookie leftovers out. And this happened to work out that it's going to be so both girls get the same amount. So now I've saved it. Now automatically these girls have been given credit for these cookies in the booth. Now, what about the troops? And I know I'm just telling you how you do the booths or how you divvy up the cookies. I know that probably every troop around the country has a different way of calculating how they give girls booth credit. So I just want to show you how you do it in the system. How you decide to give that credit is certainly a troop government decision, but I want to show you how you can manage that in the system. So let's say at the end of the sale, you're more interested in giving all the girls equal credit rather than each individual booth sale. Simple way to do that. As you're going along, go ahead and enter this information in the Smart Booth Divider. Because the reason is this will keep your troop inventory accurate. That will say how many cookies you have. So I'm going to save and go back. And now I have here under this one booth, it shows that I have sold 125 packages, but I haven't distributed them yet. At the very end of the sale, what you can do, pardon? Okay. At the very end of the sale, what I can do is go and click this button, distribute total booth sales. And it will give me the warning that I already distributed some sales to girls. So if I do this, it's going to overwrite that. And I'm fine with that. So I just say I'm going to distribute, and this time I'm going to give it to all my girls. I just click continue, and it's going to take both of those booth sales, add them up. It's going to evenly distribute them among the girls, and then there's packages left to distribute. So you just would need to, like, we're going to add, one to Sophie and one to Morgan, and we're going to add, add one here. So you just go through until you, get everybody. And, it's rare that you get booth sales where you're always exactly the same number of cookies. So, there may be one girl with, 23 and everybody else with 24. That unfortunately is just kind of the way the cookie crumbles, so to speak. But this is a way to do that. And again, it's building data. It's, first of all, rather than you doing this, here I have like 9 girls in my troop, rather than doing 9 different transfers and maybe doing that multiple times during the sale, and I've had like 10 booths, I can just do this all at once at the end of the sale. And then again, if you're one of the councils or one of the troops that you have a very, specific formulation for getting girls cookies, you can overwrite any of these. So if I wanted to say that, Sophie is only going to get, like a few cookies because she only worked like 1 or 2 of the booths, I can go through and only give Sophie 6. And I can give, somebody else 10. And so you can manage these and you can make these to be the numbers that you want. So I'm going to save this, and it's going to tell me it's not going to let me do it because I have leftovers all across. So just to get out of it, I'll just put my leftovers into Sophie. Oops. Still have a couple left. 9, 5. Okay, so I'll save that. So that's a really easy and fast way to do the booth divider. So any questions on what I've done so far? Okay.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
So in my booth thing, it doesn't have a smart booth divider. Is that because for our area we don't have any booths yet outlined in the program?
Well, do you have any reservations yet?
I do not, because we don't have any.
Okay, yeah. So you won't see the booth divider until you actually have a reservation. So okay. It's under the reservation, and you go all the way over here to the side and click what we call the hamburger menu, and this is where the smart booth divider will pop up.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay. Nope. Very good question. So once you have reservations, that's where it will show up. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you is a couple of reports, because one of the things that you may be concerned about is we've had girls out there already taking, girl delivery orders. You want to make sure that girls, have enough cookies to fill orders. So I do want to show you that, but what I'm going to do is actually go into, because I don't think I've got any reports in here, but I do have, there's a report called the Mobile and E-Card Summary Report. And you can go to that report and click View Report. And I don't have any data, so let me go into one of my areas where I know I've got some data. So as a troop, if you go into Reports Current, and it's under Orders, and it is the Mobile and E-Card Summary. And this is probably going to take a minute to generate, because it's got quite a bit of data. But this will give you an idea, and I'll show you what it looks like. It will let you know that, for instance, a girl in your troop has girl delivery numbers, and it will give it to you by variety. Let's say she's got, orders for 100 packages of cookies, but you know that you've only given her 25 packages of cookies. She probably needs more cookies to fill her girl delivery orders. So this will help you to manage your sales and keep in contact with girls to ask them, do you need more cookies? Or they say, well, somebody put in these orders and it turned out they really don't want them. We'll have the ability to look at that. So I can download that report right now and show you what it looks like. So of course, this is a big one because this has your whole council, because I don't know which troops in your area might have had it, but let me pull it up. It'll be a little bit hard to see. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. But you can see here, we have a girl that has, she's got some direct ship orders, but here's a girl, Jemiah Brown, has girl delivery orders for 132 packages altogether. So that troop's going to want to make sure that they give her at least 132 packages to start her order. So you can see it will actually give you, for each girl, it will tell you what the orders are, whether they were e-card girl delivery, e-card direct ship, how many packages by variety they need. So this is a great report to look at at the troop level, to kind of keep up on the girls and making sure if they've got more orders than you've given them credit for, it's a good time to get more cookies to them so they can fill all their orders. The other thing I also wanted to show you is, because we have this process of taking orders through e-cards and also social media, every once in a while you're going to get an order that can't be filled for whatever reason. And so I'm going to show you one today. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to mimic a user. So you have an order that you need to refund. So we're going to go in, and we have a girl here that Aggie very generously let me put an order in under her daughter's name. So you have a girl and she has an order, and she calls you and says, I can't deliver this order and the customer prepaid for this. So you would go in to mimic that girl. You would look at manage her orders. And here's the order that we did. What I did is I ordered today. So if I were to look at this order and print the report, you would see that I live in Florida. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for her to deliver the cookies to me. And every once in a while this happens, as somebody gets the girl delivery link, particularly in social media. I had it earlier this year with one of my councils in Massachusetts. The person ordered and they were in Wyoming. And so they're not going to deliver a girl delivery order in Wyoming. So they needed to refund that order. So again, you just go back to, let me go to my orders. I go to manage my orders. You click on this again, the hamburger menu, which gives you options to do. You will be able to refund this order. So once you click on refund, it's going to give you the details. Are you sure that this is the order that you want to refund? And only troop leaders, service unit managers, and council people can refund. Girls cannot go in and refund on their own. Parents cannot go in and refund. So this is something that they would need to ask you and give you a reason, why they would want to refund the money. You cannot refund direct ship orders. It can only be a girl delivery order that's been paid through the Smart Cookie app. So once you click on yes, this is the order we do want to show. The order will remain on the girl's order card for traceability purposes, but now it shows the status as refunded. And so again, if I were to go to that report now, you'll see that it's zeroed out. There's $0, there's 0 things of cookies, but it does have the ability to see that the customer information is retained. And just so you know what happens for the customer is that I'll show you. Let me open this and move it over so you can see it. You can see that it disappeared.
It just got the refund email and
right. That's what I wanted to get. So here you can see that it goes out pretty immediately to the customer, letting them know that their order's been canceled and that their credit card's been refunded. And it will, it tells them it takes 2 to 3 business days for that to appear on their account. But we do give them a link to order more cookies so that if, you can't deliver them in person, they can go and this will take them to the direct ship link so that then they could order cookies to be direct shipped to them. And then that, they could still support the Girl Scout in that way. So that's how quickly the refund orders come through.
And I have a question.
Yes.
So if a parent says no to a delivery, doesn't that matter or
I think you broke up a little bit, but if it's a social delivery and the parent does not approve it, the credit card is actually never charged. And then at that point, though, they still do get the email letting them know that their order was not approved, and they still get a link to order more cookies through the direct ship. Was that the question?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're cutting off, Marjorie.
Yeah. So any other questions that I can answer from the perspective of what we're going to be doing in the next, few weeks as we move forward? Because I can go over more stuff if there's anything else y'all need some information on.
I would love I would say 90% of the emails that possibly Deborah and I are getting or I don't see my girls in there, or I need to make a change, or I need to add her. Can you please go over how to add a girl to a troop? And that would be great because I keep getting on a daily basis at least 10 emails on that.
Sure. Let me let me go in and update that on the training. So I'll go to training real quick. Let me just make sure that I have permission to do that for troops. So let me go to user management and make sure that troops can add girls. I think they can. Manage girls, yes, okay. So let me go back to my other, I just wasn't sure I had that permission in my training site. So oh. Okay, so how to add a girl. So we're under my troop roster. Right down here is a button to add a new girl. So you want to put in the girl's name. And then of course your troop is automatically, you can't change the troop number. You can put in a nickname. If you know her GSUSA ID, you can put that in. Otherwise you can leave it blank. It's not a required field. Your main recognition plan, you don't have to check because that's automatically set for your troop. You would want to put her grade level. We recommend that you put the apparel sizes, although the parents can also do that when they register the girl. This is the most important part. You want to make sure that you create the user account at the same time. So then you want to make sure that you you put in the parent first name, last name, and email address. So I'll put it to mine here. And then of course, my computer auto fills everything. So it just automatically puts all my stuff in. But if you don't have an auto fill because you haven't put that person in before, don't worry about it. But the fields that are required to create the user account are the first name, last name, and the parent email. And so once you put that in and you click save, now the girl is added down here. You can see Nancy Lee has been added. We have the parent email. Now, if you go over to user management, troop user management, and we hit apply search. Now we're going to see Nancy Lee right here, and I'll kind of highlight it. It's a little hard to see. She's third up from the bottom, and it's pending registration. So an email automatically went out to that parent saying that, your daughter's been added into this troop and you need to, register her. So then the parent, in fact, I just got the email because I put it into my system, and I just got the link to register that girl. So that's as easy as it is to add a girl. But if you forget to check that, that box, you need to then add a new user. But if you remember to check the box, create user account, at the same time you add the girl, we'll automatically send the registration email out to them.
That is correct. It is that simple.
Yes.
And I know Deborah and I have been telling them, because this is the first time they've been able to actually add a girl. So we want you all to be comfortable, and it is really that simple. And just like Ann said, the most important thing is to click that create user account. Ann, are you okay?
Yeah, my smoke detectors were going off. We don't know why.
Oh, okay. I'm like, with your background, it looks like you're looking into space.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of looking into space. I was like, why is the smoke detector going off? So,
I do have a question from Abby. She says, I'm curious about the girl payment to Troop versus the orders entered via Smart Cookie and paid for by cash. Are all cookie sales entered into Smart Cookies?
Yeah, so when you were talking about the cash, when you're receiving the payment from a girl into the troop and you're logging it, are they going to be entering all of those in to Smart Cookies and logging those as being paid for by cash?
Not necessarily. It's not required. I mean, a lot of girls do that because that helps them to keep track of their customers. But if a girl doesn't have access to a smartphone or a tablet to do that, they may not necessarily be entered into Smart Cookies. And what Smart Cookies looks at is just because a girl takes an order in Smart Cookies, we don't create that. That's a little hard to explain, but we're tracking that order. In other words, she went in and she took an order on her. Well, let me just show you. Let me mimic a girl. So if I mimic one of the girls in my troop and I take a cookie order. So let's say I'm going to take an order. I'm going to take a cookie order. And so I'm going to save this person. I'm going to go in. I'm going to click next. I'm going to take this order. This, I don't want cookie share. Let me do one that's, well, maybe I'll do one cookie share because I want to show you that too. That's a good question that you asked. So I've entered this order. I'm going to say that I delivered it. It was paid, yes, and it was paid by cash. Now I'm going to click next. This does not then show up on the girl dashboard. It shows that she has orders for 10 packages, but you haven't given those cookies to her yet. So if I go, this is her manage order screen. If I go to the dashboard, the girl hasn't been given cookies from the troop yet. This is what we look at, what the system looks at. So it's tracking it. You can see that she has orders, but until you put in that you gave her 10 packages to fill that order, then it doesn't show, it won't show financial responsibility. And it would look like if she gave you the $20 for those 5 packages, it's going to look like she's got a credit because you haven't given her the responsibility for those cookies yet.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then that really brought up something, and I thank you so much for asking that question. But if you have a girl that does get a cookie share order, so on this one, notice that I put in that I was ordering cookie share. So we'll look at the report real quick. It was 5 packages of cookie share and 5 packages of Toastjay. She collected that money for you. She's going to give you $40. At the council level or at the troop level, what you have to do is then go in and you have to create a virtual cookie share order for her. So here is Anne. She ordered she sold 5 boxes of cookie share and she gave me that money. So I want to save that so that it becomes, again, she's going to balance out. So it's just like in the old days before computers, a girl went door to door, she sold some cookie share cookies and she came back and handed you the money. You had to log that someplace to make sure. So now, even though they might be collecting the order online, it doesn't automatically create the cookie share order for her. Okay. Hope that helps.
And Joe, I see that you have your hand raised. Did you have a question you wanted to ask?
Yes. So because these cookies are new to our area and they have different names,
right?
We're having some questions about when you go. So like the e-card sent out an invitation to a link. The link takes them to an order form. When they get into the order form, it does not show the cookie. It just shows like a color dot. And so they're having a hard time going back and forth, figuring out which cookies are which. Is there a way for y'all to change that on y'all's end where there's a cookie that shows so they know which cookie they're ordering?
Well, yeah, it actually is in there. It's just they have to know to click on the cookie. So let me show you how that looks because I have an order that I did earlier. Let me just find my
while she's doing that, Joe, I don't know if you received, I did ask you that question to Anne. I forwarded to her and she responded. I sent you her response as well.
Let me just go ahead and send myself another card because I have so many emails from no reply at smartcookies.com. I can't figure out which one it was. Let's see, where was it?
That's fine. While you're doing that, and the other thing I wanted to ask you, Joe, I just emailed you as well about your girl. Let me see. Hold on. Riley. On my end, everything looks correct. So you may want to have your parent contact Smart Cookies because I looked at it. They've already, they even uploaded a link. I mean, a picture.
They found it after a while. They found it.
Okay, good.
But one of their orders, when their customer went in to order, it would not take their zip code. So I didn't know if Smart Cookie had like a regional area where it won't allow somebody to do a girl delivery outside the zip code. Like, for instance,
no, that,
my aunt,
what we're finding in some cases is that we have not been able to recreate those errors, but the person, when they're putting in their zip code, we're finding that some people are using like smartphones, or you saw my computer auto-filled, and it'll automatically fill some of the information in, and then they're not double checking that that's the correct zip code.
Okay.
So they just really need to check that. And here's what it looks like when a customer goes on the cookie order. If they click the little information box right here, if it will click for me, it's being slow. There's a picture of the cookies and all the nutritional information.
Okay, so I just need to tell my parents they need to make sure that if they have questions about the
and
cookie,
it's on the app as well. It's right next to the name. They just click on the little question mark and it will show a picture of the cookies and then all the nutritional information. Okay.
Thank you. That was one of the big questions I had was
Okay.
We don't know which cookies to order, and we want to make it easier for them to order.
But again, I did report the zip code issue because I have a couple people that have said that. I haven't had that thing. I've been testing it because every time somebody calls, I test it. Like I tested it today. I put in a girl delivery order. I put in my zip code. It worked perfectly. But you did see that my computer automatically filled in some information, right? And so a lot of people have autofill on their phone. We're finding it most often when people are taking orders on phones, and they're just not picking up on that because probably most of the zip codes in South Carolina start with maybe a lot of the same first 2 digits, right? And so the person starts typing in like 29, and all of a sudden the last zip code that they put in pops up, and they go, oh, the zip code's in there, and they're not really making sure it's truly the customer zip code.
So it will not prevent us from having sales. Like my aunt lives in Greenville, we live in Hartsville, and so it would be out of our our council.
As long as you're willing to deliver over there, then it doesn't restrict that in any way. No. I mean, because as you saw, I just had a girl delivery order that I put in against Aggie's daughter, for training purposes tonight. I live in Florida, and it took my zip code as long as it was the correct zip code that matches my credit card. Now, there could be also people that have their credit card goes to a PO box, and that's a different zip code than their delivery address. The zip code that they need to make sure they're putting in is the zip code that matches their credit card. Because if they've got a different billing address for their credit card, it will reject it because that's another safety measure verification that the card does indeed belong to the person making the purchase. Okay.
Marjorie, did you have a question? I saw you put something on the chat. Did you want to ask?
I would, but I'm not sure how my volume is going, so that's why I chatted.
It sounds good right now, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So in chat, I said, when you were talking about the refunds, was that only in reference to e-card orders? Parents can't.
No, they can. Troop leaders can can refund a girl delivery e-card order, a social media girl delivery order, or even if somebody then later says, let's say you were doing a booth sale and you took prepaid orders for a booth and then the customer didn't show up to pick up their cookies, you can refund that as well. So you can refund any of the credit cards that are done through Smart Cookies. What you can't refund are any direct ship payments. So if somebody says, I ordered direct ship cookies and I don't want them now, you can refer that customer back to our direct ship hotline, which would be on their, it'll be on their order confirmation. We've got a special help desk specifically for direct ship, and that would have to go through our system because it's not tied through to this credit card processing.
And that's okay, that makes sense. Right. But also for the e-cards, parents approve or disapprove that, correct? Or
parents,
refuse it, right?
No, on the e-cards, no. The parents do not have to approve the orders on the e-cards. And the reason is we assume that if you have somebody's email address, you know that person. And if you've given them the option for girl delivery, you're willing to deliver to them. Okay. So if you're sending that e-card to grandma and you're willing to deliver to grandma, then we're making that assumption that since you have that email address, you know that person, and there's been a positive action to say, I want to offer girl delivery to this person. So parents do not have to approve those orders. They do have to approve the social media link girl delivery orders, because again, once it gets out on social media, it could be shared with people all over the country. And at that point, they may not want to go to Wyoming to deliver cookies. So they're probably going to not approve that order.
All right. And then I had one other one is when I go in, I don't see any reports under current reports yet when I go in as my troop.
Check that now because we fixed that. We fixed that earlier today.
Okay. Thanks.
And there's I know you've already answered this through an email, but this has been asked at the chat. It says, is there any way to turn off flavors as you sell out so you don't sell something you don't have?
No, at this point, we do not have the ability to do that. So it's just a matter of if you're sending out an e-card, then there's no way to turn off the variety. There's also, if you're sending a text message to somebody with the social link, you could include in the text messages, by the way, I don't have any gluten-free, so please don't order them. But there's no way to actually turn it off in the system. We either turn it off for everybody or nobody.
Thank you. Deborah, is there any other thing that you would like for Ann to maybe show the leaders who are on right now, as you and I have both received emails the last couple weeks?
Adding a girl was the main one.
Yeah, okay. I agree.
And, sending the registration email again. That's another one.
So if you need to resend the registration email, because that happens. I mean, as you saw tonight, I couldn't even find. I had so many emails, I couldn't find that one that I was looking for. So a parent knew they got the email, but they forgot. They can't find it now because it's been quite a while. All you need to do is find the girl. And click, put a check mark in her name over to the far left, and then click manage selected users, and then send registration email. And it said you've elected to resend it to an unregistered user. If you say yes, then it's going to queue up and our emails go out in batches, and we just say yes. And then you'll actually get an email letting you know that the email went out to that girl. It usually doesn't take very long. It just depends if we have a lot of, if it happens to be the night that you do that to resend it to a girl is the same night that there's a council that's doing their booth lottery and there's thousands of emails going out all at the same time. It might, take a half an hour or something to get done, but it will go out. But that's a real fast way to resend those emails.
Abby, that's a good question. No, you do not need to. She asked, do we need to enter bank info into Smart Cookies under Troop Info? No, because our finance department, that's why we ask you for your ACH form. She does it through another system. So that is why you do not have to, but you can. I mean, by all means, go ahead.
Yep.
All right. So we're just right under an hour. Does anybody else have any questions? You're welcome. That you guys can unmute yourself. You can ask it in the chat. This is what we're here for. And this was a lot of information today. Yep. Thank you so much. It was great. So we'll leave it open for about 5 minutes if anybody else wants to ask any questions. Ms. Bessie, we all good? I see you.
Yeah. It's a lot of information, and I just really encourage you to
Bessie got a lot to decipher here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot.
Yeah, and it
made me think, hey, this is
a lot of
much.
those videos, they're very short, that if you go into the Smart Cookies training videos and you just forget how to do a transfer, I think that video is like 3 minutes long. So you can just refresh your information as you go along.
Correct.
I know that's where I'm pushing a lot of my troops as a service.
If I mess up, y'all know to take it for love.
We got you, Bessie. Don't worry.
I hope so, because I'm bound to mess up. But I hope I don't. But
And don't forget, you have access to the 20. And don't forget, you have access to a 24/7 helpline. So when Aggie's asleep at night, you have this help number here. It's it's an 800 number. It's right in Smart Cookies. I think I quit sharing my screen, but I'll show you again real quick. And they literally can talk you through it's an 800-853-3730. 1-800-853-3730. And so you get stuck and you can't remember what you were supposed to do. They can help talk you through. Just make sure you let them know, your name, your service unit or your troop, and the council that you're in, because they're working with over 40 councils. So they will literally pull up the information about your council and have your dates, and have information right there at hand, and they can talk you through anything as well. And they literally are available 24/7. Even in the middle of the night, there's those guys, that's their shift, and they're all really, really nice. So
yeah. Hey, Abby, I see that your hand is up. Did you have a question?
Yes, I have a quick question. So this may just be something that I got to figure out on my own, but we are potentially using QR codes on like car magnets or yard signs and that type of thing. Is there an easy way to generate that through smart cookies, or do I need to figure? Okay.
Absolutely. Here you go.
Great question.
It's each girl has a unique QR code, and each troop has a unique QR code. So I'll show you both. Here's where the girls find them. They go to share my cookie link, scroll down to the bottom, do print handout, and there's their QR code.
Okay, fantastic.
So easy.
And then they can just save that. For the troop, you have two different links. So let me just get back out of the girl and go back to my troop. So let me end my mimicking session for the girl. So I go to my troop, and on my troop information page, I scroll down to the bottom, and here are my links for the troop. Now, first of all, this is the one that's showing right now is just the one for troop ship only. So you wanted to share it, and people can order direct ship. Again, same thing. You just print the handout, and the QR code for the troop generates. If you're using a virtual booth, and I would encourage you to look at that look at that video that's on our website. You're doing a virtual booth. You have a couple steps you have to do to set that booth up, but then that will appear on your troop information page as well, and you'll have a unique QR code for that as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I had found those. Those were awesome.
Yeah.
Melissa 569. It says you have a question, and I'm gonna read it. It says, I've played with it a bit, but my concern is not being able to see an overview of what is owed by the girls instead of pages of info I don't need.
Okay.
Not sure if I'm explaining that right.
Okay, and that's a really good thing, but here is a tab on your troop dashboard. You can zip down to the bottom, and you can look at girls. You can look at how they sold their cookies, whether they sold them, in person. This is girls, activity, how many they got on their initial order. Of course, you don't do initial orders because you're a direct sale, but how many have been transferred to them. And then you can look at smart cookies. But if you're looking at how much money girls owe, you can look at girl financial responsibility. And this gives you a really quick overview of how many cookies. You can see here under Margot, we've given her 18 packages of cookies. That was a financial responsibility of $72, and she hasn't made any payments yet. So you don't have to do pages and pages of reports. You can just go on your dashboard, and all your girls will display. If you have a really large troop, it might be 2 pages, but then you can just, again, get that. And you can actually even, print that out if you wanted to do a screen print or something, but all of that information's right there for you.
That's easy. Thank you, Anne. Marjorie, your hand is up. You have a question?
Yes, I was going to ask, is there an easy way to find, other than go to reports, to find out who is doing like the girl delivery, who needs cookies and stuff like that?
The only other way is to mimic each and every girl. So it depends on how you have, how many girls you have in your troop if you want to do that. I have some people that prefer to do that. They'll go in and mimic a user. They'll, hit the girl, and they'll do that. And then they'll look at the, the manage orders report and, print it out for girl. This girl doesn't have any, but you could do it that way. I prefer the mobile and e-card summary report because it gives me a quick overview. And in fact, your dashboard does the same thing. I mean, you can look at, if you had a girl down here at the bottom, and if you look at financial responsibility, and here's a girl that has a $100 credit for Morgan Carroll. If Morgan has $100 that's been, let's say this was credit card payments, and you can look at that by looking at financial transactions, then she must have girl delivery orders that she needs cookies to fill those orders, because she's got $100 credit to her name. So why does she have an overpayment? It's because she doesn't have enough cookies to fill all her orders. Okay. So this dashboard can really give you a lot of information. And again, you can look at sold by channel, and you can see here's a girl that has, you know, some orders that have not been filled. So, you know, and you can look at it by variety too. So, but this one, I like the girl financial responsibility to, you know, really give me an overview. Morgan's got a credit. I'm going to go mimic Morgan real quick and see what's happening with that, you know, and maybe you then find you made an error in posting a payment. That's just my, you know, great way of looking at it.
Okay. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, we're just 2 minutes after 8 o'clock. Abby, let's see. It says, if someone adds a cookie share to direct ship, do I still need to allocate for that girl?
So they have a troop ship order.
Is that what they're asking? It was my mother-in-law donated money for a cookie for the cookie for a cause, and I added those to a direct ship.
Did she did it through direct ship? Then those will automatically credit to the girl.
Okay, thank you.
It's only ones that girls take in person or at a booth that you have to enter an order for.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right, great questions, everyone. We are just 3 minutes after 8. Unless anybody has any questions, we are done. Any more questions? We are done. You can start logging off. And let's just give it a couple more minutes, and then we will end it for everyone. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great cookie sale. It's going to be great.
Oh, it is. It is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go see the warehouse tomorrow, Ann.
Okay, good. Good. Super. I've heard it's a nice facility.
It looked empty for the longest time, but
well, that's because they didn't get occupancy until the very end of December.
Yeah, so. I could tell, because I don't live too far from the warehouse, and every time we passed, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, they didn't want to stress me, so they didn't tell me how late they were.
Oh no, I'm telling you, over the holidays, I was gonna message you, but I was like, nope, I'm not gonna stress her out. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, but we sent some, Titan sent somebody in to work with them. So they got them all straight and got everything done. So we're good. And we know that we just got the first report from Amara. She got her, she got cookies delivered today. So, or I don't know if she did any actual deliveries today, but she sent some paperwork in, and, everything looked like it was good. So, here, let me ask you a question, Aggie, while I've got you, because I did hear back from Amara. So
hold on, hang on. Let me stop the recording.
Oh, okay.